Mr. Bacon for
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and welcome here to Mr. Secretary. Appreciate you being here today. I have two questions, one on cybersecurity and then a follow-up on trade. First on cybersecurity, there was a recent article published in the Joint Forces Quarterly titled Weaponizing Wheat. It was written by Air Force Lieutenant Colonel Schuerman, and he assesses the security status of America's food supply, and his findings are disturbing. So, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to submit that for the record, this article.
Without objection.
In the article, Lieutenant Colonel Sherman identifies agriculture cybersecurity as one of the most pressing threats to our agriculture. Russia is a top cyber adversary known for targeting cloud infrastructure, for example. We've had cyber attacks on industry leaders like JBS. We're seeing state-sponsored attacks have caused real-world effects targeting critical infrastructure like grain storage facilities. So, Mr. Secretary, I've been working on a bill for a couple of years called the American Agricultural Security Act of 2024, and establishes research centers that are American land-grant institutions across the nation with the purpose of researching physical, biological, and cyber threats to American agriculture. These centers would be structured and operated like the UARCs that we see used by the DoD, and they've shown a lot of promise with their military. So, Mr. Secretary, what's your take? Would this move us in the right direction for helping provide better cybersecurity, or what else could we be doing to protect our farmers?
Well, Representative, it will if it's adequately funded. It's not enough to set up a center unless you have the resources behind it. But I think you're right to put a spotlight on this. And certainly land-grant universities are already doing some of this, perhaps not as in coordinated a fashion as they need to. At USDA, we're really focused on making sure that the private sector is hardening their assets, hardening their IT against these kinds of attacks. Obviously, you mentioned JBS. When something like that happens, our role and responsibility is to evaluate the impact on the market of a disruption, a significant disruption, which we did in that case, and to convene the industry to remind them of the importance of investing in protection. There is an interagency effort in this administration to sort of focus on cybersecurity and on AI in particular, and taking a look at the entirety of our portfolio, from food safety to SNAP bias to market manipulation to trade policy. It's all encompassing.
You know, our DoD runs something similar with the UARCs, and it's been very successful, but you're right, they have to be funded.